This is your girl Yannick Taylor, aka Priestess, hostess of Conversations with the Priestess. Here's a preview of what you may hear on Conversations with the Priestess.
We weren't meant for monogamy, let's be honest. Like, we have needs, let's be real. And communicating that, what you want, what you don't want, what sets up. Now, this drink is brown because I learned something. Since I'm older, I can't do brown liquor anymore. Also, I noticed since I started on hormone replacement there, HRT, in 2015, me and certain liquors don't match well. I don't know whether...
And I recognize that a lot of men love to be dominated by women. And that's because men are seen as these leaders, as this big alpha male dominant being. And because they're put on this pedestal of being leaders, sometimes they want to be submissive. Back when I cosplayed a Butch Queen in South Carolina around 2011, I was on Craigslist. This is when Craigslist was bumping and before they had gotten rid of the personal section. I hope you enjoyed that preview. Join me on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. for Priestess After Dark. Full video versions of the podcast can be found on patreon.com/CWT Priestess, and join me on Fridays at noon for our regular Friday post. Live, love, and be free. Smooches.
Available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, anywhere you download and stream podcasts.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your girl, the Priestess, never your mistress, Yannick Taylor. Honey, here's another episode of Conversations with the Priestess. So get your libations and get your ancestors and sit down and have a conversation with your girl.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. So beautiful.
What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, the Priestess, sometimes your mistress, Yannick Taylor. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with the Priestess. Again, thank you all for tuning in to this lovely episode. This particular episode, and we're going to talk about a plethora of things. But one of the things that I want to talk about is, y'all, I recognize that as I am embracing 37, I turned 37 in March, I realize that I am now at the age where I get excited about household appliances. So, your girl went and got one of the little portable washing machines so she can wash her clothes. Due to circumstances beyond my control, I have been going back and forth to the laundromat to do said laundry. So I got tired of spending extra money at the laundromat. I said, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to buy this little wash machine and do what I got to do. So the wash machine washes my clothes, and it only has the little spin cycle because it doesn't generate heat. If y'all know what the device that I'm talking about, this is a lifesaver. And thankfully, I'm able to just hang up my clothes and, air dry them. Still washing with my fabric softener, do the works. Like, come on now. Don't act like back in the day, some of us that grew up in the country in the 90s and 80s, we ain't wash our clothes and hang them out on the line. Some of y'all Generation Zs may not know what I'm talking about, but some of us millennials, Generation X's, and boomers remember hanging out clothes to dry. Some of us still hand wash some of our clothes because it's required, and we hang them bitches up after we done dried them and did what the fuck we got to do, let them air dry. It's a fact of life, honey. But I got excited as fuck about this appliance, and I couldn't wait to get it out the plastic. Now, mind you, a bitch messed around and didn't realize she ordered two. So when I realized that I ordered two, I went on ahead and started, when I pulled in the packages, started the refund process. However, in me getting ready to pull some more packages in and to close my door, I didn't realize as I turned around to close my door and walk towards the other packages, not necessarily in that order, in my rushing and excitement, as I took a hit of this layer cake blunt that I'm smoking, it is so good. Yes, amen. So, yeah, in my excitement and rushing, I turn around and I head to the door, not paying attention, and I run smack dab in my door. and I had planned this elaborate video, but then I realized I had a big ass knot on my head. So if y'all saw my TikTok video and my YouTube video for this week of me singing, yes, I have a knot on my head where I ran into my door in my excitement about appliances. So needless to say, thankfully I had to make me a little ghetto ass ice pack with a bottle of water that I had frozen, and thankfully I did that because I let they use it. I use that as an ice pack for my wounded head. You know, my head is already big. I don't need my head to get bigger because I done banged it into a door. And what was so funny, y'all, I had my earbuds in, right? And y'all tell me why as soon as my head hit the door, my left earbud goes flying out of my ear. And when I realized what had happened, I said to myself, damn, girl, you gonna knock your head off, girl. You damn near knocked a dent in the door. The fuck? So, but I'm okay. I might just be a little bit more, myself that I, am. Child, ain't nothing wrong with me, child. It just, yeah, it hurt like hell, though. But, yeah, got excited and busted my head. But I must say, the washer does a great job in washing my clothes. I love it, and it's inexpensive, and I'm absolutely grateful. I love me a good wash machine, honey, cause baby, and it's nothing like having clean clothes. Because for me, I don't have a problem going to the laundromat. I really don't. But I recognize a fact that, and I'm not being elitist or anything when I say this, the general public uses those things. And 9 times out of 10, yes, they may have staff that come and sanitizes those washers and dryers, but sometimes you can't get to them quick enough and you can't sanitize said dryers. And that's just the thing for me. For those of y'all that know me, y'all know I don't really give two fucks about public restrooms either. I will use public restrooms, but I absolutely hate when I have no choice but to use a public restroom. And for those that know me, honey, I am one of the divas that will put toilet paper down if you don't have the seat covers or stuff. Mm-mm, baby, I gotta put down something to cover the toilet seat. I'm not at home. I'm not in the facilities of my house. And so that's kind of the luxury that I have when I go to a public laundromat. And that's just me. I suck it up, do what I have to do. And thank God for laundry sanitizer. And I really found out about this during the pandemic in 2020. That is now they've deemed it as an endemic. I get the sanitizer and sanitize my clothes. And you know what? If I ever have to go back to a laundromat, I'm going to carry Lysol with me and spray the inside of those washers and dryers, disinfect them bad boys, make sure they're nice and dry before I wash my clothes, honey. Sometimes you got to do what the hell you got to do to sanitize. Now, and I'm going to get off my little soapbox, but it's nothing like having clean things. And back to the original point, I'm grateful for my washer and dryer, and I got excited about that. My next feat is getting another air fryer, and I already saw the color that I want to get because I wanted to match my pans, the color of my pans. I have a nice little turquoise pan set that I got, and oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful. And I want my appliances to kind of match, the color that I'm going for. So that's how you know you are getting older, when your ass start getting excited about household appliances. Now, the other thing about aging that you may see us joke about online, or that you may see me joke about, is aging and the physical aspects of aging. Now, I'm going to admit, I may complain about my knees sometimes. That's because sometimes my knees do get on my fucking nerves. I'm 37 years old. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, honey. I can't move like I used to move, like I did when I'm in it, like I was when I was in my 20s. And seeing as I'm the type of woman, during adult fellowship, I like to get folded up like a pretzel. And also, I like being able to dance and get up out of bed without my bones and shit cracking. But also, I like to exercise, and I like to make sure that I'm able to keep the sack of bones active. So I've started doing yoga and really started back exercising, because there was a period where I was actively going running in the mornings, but due to work and life and shifts in career paths, kind of shifted and I just started doing yoga. And I absolutely love yoga. Yoga has become an emotional release for me. Um, there's some emotional release yoga that I've done, and baby, I did that shit, and I started crying during the yoga session. Because for yoga, for those of you that are familiar with yoga, with the positions and poses, it releases a lot of stress. It gets to the cracks and crevices of our body and helps release those toxins and emotions. So you're going to feel some shit sometimes. And I absolutely love the relaxing feeling after yoga. But Memorial Day weekend, I went dancing with one of my crew, with some of my crew, and you know, I can't twerk for shit, but I will still twerk. Okay, no shame in my game. Hey, look, I ain't the best twerker, but let me have my moment, please. Okay. So I was out dancing. I did a move to where I was twerking, but I, went into a modified version of downward dog, and I had my arms wrapped around my legs while I was like dancing up on my friend. And my friend is like, "Girl, you are flexible as fuck." I was like, "Well, thank you. Yoga's been helping me." And while I'm dancing, I realized that I was like dancing and dropping it low, not having to reach for somebody to come pick my ass up. I can drop it like it's hot again and not have to let it down like it's warm. I'm grateful. So to be able to dance and drop it low and to bend over and stuff and not have my knees pop, that has been a blessing. To my 30 and up club, if you want your Megan the Stallion knees back, do some yoga, but talk to your physician first because we are older and shit changes after you hit 30. They don't want to tell you that. Huh. But also at this age of 37, along with taking care of my physical health, I am aware that as I age, there are going to be certain things that irk the shit out of me. And one of those things is unnecessary fucking noise. I want to know why I am hearing you and your good Judy at like 10 o'clock in the morning yelling obscenities at each other on a fucking Tuesday. I don't want to hear that on Monday. I don't want to hear that on any day of the week. It's like unnecessary. Y'all could have just texted out and cussed each other out via phone or via social media. No, y'all chose to do that when I'm trying to like work from home, darling. Like, what the hell? I get it. There's other people in my building other than me. I get it. But, considering there are certain things called quiet hours, please follow them, honey. And like, along with unnecessary noise, I don't. Okay, major pet peeve. When it comes down to unnecessary noise, one thing I don't like is when I'm trying to enjoy something and there is like something or someone that's purposely being annoying. And this is especially true when I go to movie theaters. I don't like unnecessary noises and unnecessary bullshit in a movie theater. And one thing that I do, I make sure I go to the movie theaters now where I know there's not going to be a lot of teenagers. I'm sorry. I know, yes, I was a teenager once. I know how I was as a teenager. I know how I was in my 20s. That's why I'm like, look, I know this next generation is different. They built different, okay? Some of them know respect, some of them don't. That's every generation. So I'm just saying, but now I like going places because let's be honest. When we see a bunch of teenagers and some of us that are approaching 40, we see 20-year olds, and I know y'all be like, damn, all these children out here, damn. Am I damn? I'll never forget a couple of years ago, me and a friend and I, we had went to a club. This is when they opened up the clubs back during the pandemic. And we were out there on the club as the queer and trans elders, and we was looking, and I just realized what year it was. And I said, "Girl, just to think, 10 years ago, that was us out there on the dance floor." And my friend said, "Mm-hmm." I said, "Child, we getting up there, ain't we?" And I'm grateful to be able to say I am 37 years old as a black trans woman, given the statistics and our mortality rate. It's a blessing to be a black trans woman that is able to say, hey, I'm getting older. That is a great blessing in and of itself because many of us, with the assault of our lives, with the government, with the daily assault on our lives due to threats of violence and various factors of us being at the intersectionality of being black, trans, and women. Whew, baby, it's rough out there in these streets. And for many of us may not have the support system that we would, that we desire or that is required for us. And thankfully now, because we are more visible, thankfully there are more resources. And unfortunately, due to grand wizards in various places, they want to make it hard for trans people to have access to care. So we still have to continue fighting, family. We got to still fight. If you're not registered to vote, please register to vote. Make your voice heard. Speak, fill out petitions, do what the hell you got to do, and find yourself on the right side of things. But with that being said, y'all, I'm going to take a quick break before y'all hear all these ads and shit. I do want to leave y'all with this. Um, my Yannick T Music Instagram is suspended until further notice. I'm not sure what's going on. My page has been, I've been on a couple of my social media platforms. There has been some issues going on with people reporting my page. I'm not sure if it's a system glitch or spam. But right now, follow me on IG at the following page at CWT Priestess. Please check the show notes. I have resources for you all, some other trans resources and trans creators that I want to put out there and that I do want to direct you all to. So, y'all check out the show notes as well. I have some great things. And this week's password is superfluous. If you're listening to this podcast, I want y'all to, live tweet me with the definition of this word and let me know that y'all have listened to this podcast. So, y'all, with that, I'm going to take a quick break and puff on some old tree. Live, love, and be free. Smooches. And I'm back, bitches. Welcome back to this episode of Conversations with the Priestess. Huh. So, I mentioned before the break that I'm the type of woman that likes to get folded up like a pretzel. So, since I like being folded up like a pretzel, y'all get ready. Coming soon, I'm dropping a new segment of Conversations with the Priestess with its own episode called Not Safe for Work. This particular installment is going to be on Fridays, and this is going to be a trans sex talk edition of Conversations with the Priestess. So, I'm going to talk about sexuality from my standpoint. And I invite you all to join the conversation. Y'all can hit my mail back up. Talk the number 2 priestess. Again, that's talk2priestess at gmail.com. Always check my show notes for how you can keep up with me. And I have some resources in the show notes for you all. And this will let me know if y'all are paying attention or not. Okay, so if there's anything that you want to know about the show or have anything that want to know anything that I have going on, show notes. So, but yes, I am starting Not Safe for Work. I'm very excited about this work. I've been wanting to talk about sex for a long time, but because of religious influences and fully deconstructing religion now, I'm in a different place. I'm in a better place. And hence you have the Not Safe for Work podcast. And I hope and pray that you all enjoy it. Now, y'all ain't gonna hear all of my gory sex stories and shit. Y'all not gonna hear all the all the good shit. You have to be behind a paywall to get the freaky sneaky details on your girl. I'm just gonna be real. Y'all gonna have to be behind the damn paywall to get those goodies, darling. I'm just gonna be real. So, but yes, please look out for Not Safe for Work. Now, before we go any further, before we go into the Talk to Priestess moment of the week, I want to encourage you all during this time that while we are yet fighting for our right to gender affirming care, as we make this world a better place for the next generation to come, don't forget to take self-care for you all. Please don't forget to take self-care for you all. I want y'all to do that. Please take care of yourselves. But I'm going to let that go. So there's a word on my heart that I want to share with you all, and let's get ready for a Talk to Priestess moment. Okay? So, in this Talk to Priestess moment, I'm going to talk about boundaries. I'm going to talk about healthy boundaries. So, at this point in my life, I am no contact with my family the closer I get to facial feminization surgery, as well as I continue on my healing journey. And in order for me to have peace as I prepare for surgery, have my recovery period, focus on the ever evolving doors of life, I've decided to go no contact. Then, of course, due to transmisia and transphobia, no contact. And for those of us, going no contact is difficult at first because there is a grieving process that takes place when you disconnect yourself from family members that you have been familiar with all of your life. And now, because of antiquated ways of thinking, biases, and other factors, we have to go no contact. And these people that we've gone no contact with has been a great staple in our life. However, when one of the things that happens when you go no contact from individuals, be it former lovers, friends, whomever or whatever, and you start playing back things, you will remember the good and the bad. And do not feel guilty for going no contact because it's for the best, especially if it's to protect your peace. And don't feel bad if you start missing them. That's a normal part of the grieving process. It is okay to sit there and grieve the loss of those relationships. It's hard as hell right now, me not being connected to blood relatives because I decided to live in my truth. And while we go no contact, we have to make sure that we maintain those boundaries because sometimes with family members, you will often get messages saying, I know you're not talking to me. That's your choice, but I'm concerned about you. To me, that's gaslighting and avoiding accountability. And that's basically saying it's your fault that you're not talking to me. It's basically saying, well, I should be able to misgender you and disrespect you, and you take it. But that's your choice. No, you made that choice. And you made it easier for me to go no contact with you. And it's hard as hell. But I'm thankful that I'm thankful and I'm hopeful as well that other trans people in this situation, that we have that community, that we have that support system, because many of us don't have that support system because we are who we are. Many of us, it's a process. Many of us are going through hell for us to live our lives the way that we know is meant to be lived. And as I get closer to my facial feminization date, the reality is hitting me hard that I'm really becoming the woman that I saw myself as. And when I look back at the treatment that I've received during my lifetime, I don't regret my decision. And it there are times where I do question, by me going no contact, what if the death angel comes and we haven't reconciled? That is a major thing for me. And it could be because of my Christian roots. But also, I also think, well, I didn't do anything wrong. I just chose to live my life. And the other parties chose whatever path they took.
It's a harsh reality.
But that is the struggle. And I want to leave this with you all as I come out of this Talk to Priestess moment. Please stop telling trans people that we signed up for the mistreatment that we're getting. We did not sign up for this shit. Other people heaped it on us. We signed up to be treated like fucking human beings and to live our lives without being bothered. But other individuals that have a problem with us because of unrealistic fear and because of religious propaganda and indoctrination and several other factors, they want to listen to that bullshit and make it hard for other people. Miss me with that bullshit saying that I've signed up for this. I didn't sign up to be treated like a third class citizen, like a second class citizen. I didn't sign up to being the bottom of the totem pole. Don't ever say that to me. Don't ever say that to anyone. That is some of the most disrespectful shit I've ever heard. Don't tell anyone by them wanting to live their truth that they signed up for hardship. Life is already hard enough. We don't need other people blaming us for us just living our lives and the powers that be making it hard on us. Y'all can kiss my ass with that. But I digress. I'm going to take a quick break. Let me refresh myself. Y'all go get you a drink of water. Gonna have some more fun after we come back because I'm going to talk about some of my dating shenanigans and then we're gonna end the show. All right, so y'all live, love, and be free. A bitch will be back. Dating can be exhausting as hell. And you already know on these apps and shit, you run into all kind of interesting people, interesting faces. It's a lot. And recently, I decided, I'm going to take a chance, see what's out there. Not really looking for anything, just, being my little free single self, being a little thought bot, as my friends would say. But now, just, meeting new people. I've met some great people off the apps. I've had some good hookups, not going to lie. But this message goes out to my cis men and to my men who actively pursue trans women. I feel the need to say this. Number one, yes, we know that we are pretty. You don't have to constantly say, hey, pretty to us in every sentence, okay? That makes it, what it gives off is that you're interested in us, but you're basically looking at us for sex. Number two, it is not flattering, nor is it cute for you to say, well, I've never been with a trans person before. To be honest, we didn't need to know that right at this moment. It's like having sex with anyone else. If you're curious, please do your homework. There's something called Google. Please do not go on Pornhub or anything for ideas on how to have sex with people, with trans people. You can find that on Google and find scholarly sources, but that's too much like right. Also, when you're dealing with trans people, please do not ask us how that will affect your sexual orientation or your sexual identity. That is some work that you have to do on your own. We're not going to do that for y'all. That's not our job to do that. Again, there's Google, there's YouTube. You can easily find resources, and I have resources below that can help you with how to speak, how to approach trans people if that's what you want to do. There are easy ways. I just want to leave that out there because I am tired, okay? We are tired, okay, people? We are fucking tired. I hate that shit. And I'm not coming down on cis men or anything, but please, my brothers, please get that shit together. Get your shit together. Like, for real. And the reason why I say that, in my experiences, it's it's annoying to hear someone say, "Oh, I've never been with a trans person before." Okay, would you tell a cis woman that you've never been with a cis woman before? Yeah, I didn't think so. So, yeah. And when you say you've never been with a trans person before, that's actually othering us and making us feel like we're just a new toy that you're curious about. And that, my friend, is what we call fetishization. Yeah, fetishization. Fetishization. Child, yeah, that. You're making me a fetish. And I've had I actually had a religious leader tell me this. You know what? Everybody's someone's fetish. You just have to live with it. No. I'm not finna live with being looked at as a sexual object, which in turn dehumanizes me. What the fuck? But I will say this. If you gonna fetishize me, motherfucker, then you gonna pay me. That's all I'm gonna say. If you gonna fetishize me, hit that Cash App. Hit my Venmo. My time is money and money is time. So what we're gonna do here? Because we can play this game all day. I can dominate you. I can switch it up, baby. But we're going to talk more about that on Not Safe for Work. With that being said, I'm going to bid you adieu. I love y'all. Y'all don't forget to leave me a review. Y'all live, love, and be free from the priestess. Smooches.
Ooh, you're beautiful.